Wake up. White boy summer is over and it's time for school. You guys know the feeling. You wake up Monday morning, it's time to go. First day of school, you got your fit on, you got your Fortnite gear, you got everything ready, and you're so hyped to go back to school. Well, guess what? Your year is determined by the chair that you sit in. And so I decided I'm going to make a tier list of all of the different chairs that you will sit in during school. So let's just jump on right into it. So we're going to start off with the teacher chair. The second you climb up into that bad boy, it's got adjustable seating. It's got a little bit of a rock to it too. That classroom is no longer Miss Smith's. It belongs to you. You're the big dog on top now. So that's why I am going to immediately put the teacher's chair up in A tier. Alright, the second chair that I decided to choose isn't actually really a chair at all. It's the kindergarten mat. You guys all remember being in kindergarten, sitting on that gross little nasty mat. You had your own little square, whatever color you wanted to sit on. That was your color for the rest of the year. You were the fifth green tile or something like that. And that was you. You were reduced to a number and a color. It was degrading to children. And it always stunk. It smelled like nasty feet and sweaty kids. So that's why the kindergarten mat is immediately going to F tier. I hated that stupid mat. Alright, so the next one that we're going to be going to and taking a look at is actually the Verco 9016. Really classic chair. You see it in a whole lot of classrooms. It's just kind of the bar for chairs. Now, I don't really have a lot of gripes with this chair. It's got a firm back to it. It makes sure that you're uncomfortable enough to stay awake, but also comfortable enough to make sure that you're paying attention in class. Really, really like it. It's conducive to learning, but it's just kind of a standard chair. There's not really much about it that screams, hey, look at me, I'm a star. So I'm going to immediately put that one in D tier. Now, we do have the the Verco 9016's cousin, the Verco 9700BR, which is the desk version of this chair. Now, let me tell you, when you go to high school or middle school and start getting to sit in these bad boys, you are about to meet your next favorite mattress, because these things are so conducive to sleep. You sit down in one of these, it's like a nice warm comforter just pulled up over you, and you're just ready to take a long winter's nap. You're not going to learn very much sitting in these chairs, but they are a whole lot of fun. You got the desks down there on the bottom where you can put your little binders and stuff, so you're all organized and all that. You got your little table there in front of you so you can write stuff down when you're actually awake in these chairs, because for some reason in the Verco 9016 you don't really have the sleeping problem, but in the Verco 9700BR the sleeping problem does kind of come about and come into play, so I had to take that into consideration. But overall, I still think it's better than just kind of the basic chair, just because of the extra features. You know, bigger is always better, so that's why that's going to go in C tier. I'm going to save a couple of these for last because I have some specifics I want to talk about. But the next one that we're going to talk about is the old-fashioned chair. I don't know if any of y'all have had the pleasure in sitting in one of these Cadillacs of curriculum, but these are exquisite seating experiences. You sit down in one of these old wood-stained chairs that has the desk, ridiculously uncomfortable. You hate sitting in it for longer than 30 minutes, but trust me, you can feel the history of all of the great scholars before you that have sat in that chair. You think this is funny, Jackson? This is a serious review, man. You sit down and you can feel the wisdom of Aristotle. You can feel the mathematic prowess of Archimedes. You can feel the physics knowledge of Albert Einstein all rush into your brain in just one big, quick rush of knowledge. So that's why I'm going to put it at a C minus D plus area, because it is kind of uncomfortable, but the experience is really, really cool. All right. So the next one I'm going to go over is the college chair. Now, not all of you guys are in college yet, but when you get to college, there's these really comfy chairs that like sit on like a swivel and will go underneath a big long desk. It's this one right here. Really comfortable. They've got a little bit of a rock to them as well. It's kind of just like a standard like Verco chair, but it's like covered in like some padding. So it's a very comfortable chair to sit in. I don't really know if it impacts how you will listen to things or not in class. Personally, I think this is one of my favorite chairs, so I'm gonna have to put it at a B tier. It's nothing special. You don't have like a power trip like you do when you're sitting up in there in the teacher's chair, but I really do think that it's one of the better designs in chairs, just because, you know, simplicity is the best design. You don't want something that's like too exquisite, because you could be kind of distracting from the class. But yeah, that's just kind of my take on it and why I think it deserves a B tier. All right, now the next one I have is the beanbag chairs, which is going to get an A+, S-, because the beanbag chairs, slightly better than the teacher's chairs. All of the cool kids in elementary school who did really well on their like math test or whatever would get beanbag chair privileges. And let me tell you, you look back there, you see a kid lounging in a beanbag chair, you hated him for it. You're like, that should have been me. That should have been me that got the 100 on the math test. I know how to add. The grades are just wrong, okay? The odds were just stacked against me. That's the elites back there. Those are the people that are going to be part of the 1% one day. Those kids that are sitting in the beanbag chairs. Because you know deep down, they are better than you. And so when you are finally one of those beanbag chair kids, you know, I've made it. This is it. It's the equivalent of getting your big break in Hollywood and being like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, you won Mr. Olympia, you're the governor of California, and you're the Terminator all in one. That's the feeling that you get by sitting in a beanbag chair, just because you do know that you're better than everyone else. And you're right. Okay, I saved the best for last. I want to talk about the bleachers. Now, okay, bleachers have a very, very controversial viewing by certain people. And there's different ways people will sit on bleachers. Some people will bring blankets. Some people will bring like those stadium chairs that kind of fold out and stuff. But I'm just going to be taking a look at just the raw bleachers, none of the fancy extra add-ons and stuff. Just the basics, you know. The bleachers, everyone remembers their first time sitting down on a bleacher when it's 115 degrees out. You sit down and it's like you just sat on top of a cast iron skillet. Like, you cannot feel your hamstrings for the next week because they've just been charred. Like, actually charred. So it's always funny. You see someone sit down on a hot bleacher and they jump up and start screaming and crying and like coughing up blood, and everybody's like, ah, look at that goober, look at that absolute goober of a person that just sat down on the hot bleachers, didn't like put down a jacket to let it cool off or anything. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed experience. I like that. It's painful, but it's also really funny. Some of the funniest jokes that I've ever heard were on bleachers during middle school and elementary school during PE class. So you have to take that into account, that there is a social aspect of the bleachers where everyone is just kind of coming together just as one to kind of celebrate a type of community that is the shared experience of elementary school. The other one that I wanted to talk about is the coldness of bleachers. So, you know, football games in the fall, you'll go and you'll sit down on a really, really cold bleachers. Maybe you're wearing jeans or something, and it's like slightly misty. You sit down, the back of your jeans are wet, and your butt's now frozen to the seat. I mean, it's not fun, but it's just part of the experience. So bleachers do kind of have a love-hate relationship in my heart, but because this is more of kind of a comfort rather than like outside of comfort kind of tier list, I'm gonna have to put bleachers down here at E tier. All right, so this is the tier list. You may like it. Please feel free to let me know what you guys think. If you guys would say that you would move things up or move things down on the tier list. This is pretty much all that I have for the tier list, because I think those are all of the chairs that That's right. there is one other option for you as a gamer to sit in class and pay attention, and that is the almighty gaming chair. Now, you all know you can establish your dominance by walking into the first day of first grade carrying a big old Titan gaming chair and plopping that bad boy down in front of your desk. You got the adjustable seating, and you can go up in the chair, and you can go down in the chair, and your chair can go all the way backwards and stuff, and it can rock and all sorts of stuff. And it's got adjustable arm pads. It goes up and down, and then the arm pads go forward and back, and it's so cool because you are the man. You feel like the CEO of first grade. So that's why I have to rate the gaming chair at S tier. So that is the only S tier one, and you see it's a really nice one. It's got RGB on it. I've never actually seen an RGB gaming chair until now, but yeah, it's truly the elite experience for sitting in a classroom. So yeah, I had to put that up there at S tier just because, you know, gamers got to represent gamers in the classroom. We got to look out for each other. So S tier, easy. Thank you guys for watching so much. Please feel free to subscribe here on the YouTube channel, and make sure to go follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ziggity. I will be streaming later on Thursday than I usually do. I'm moving the time back to 3 to 5 rather than 12 to 2, just because I feel like more people show up to the streams if it's later on in the day like that. And so I always like it when more people show up to the streams, just because it's more fun for me to stream to you guys, and I'm sure it's more fun for you guys to actually watch the streams. But yeah, I guess that's really all I have for this video, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.